Hi, this is Sunita from. I was on First Dates Ireland last season, last year. So, if you're watching this video, I guess you want to know what happened between myself and Ethan. So, thank you for taking the time to watch this. I really felt like I needed to tell my side of the story because a few months ago I wasn't able to express myself, and I felt like I did myself a really big disservice because I wasn't able to talk about what was really going on. I was too concerned about upsetting Ethan, and now I realise that was the wrong thing to do. So I'm going to try to give you an account of what happened as concisely as I can, and also tell you about what I learned from looking for love. Yeah. Okay, so I met Ethan in January on the set of First Dates, and as you can see if you watched the episodes, we got on really well and we clicked. And we met in January last year. We weren't able to switch contact information or get in touch. We both tried, but we only had each other's first names, and it wasn't possible. And I came back to Cork after filming in January, and in the middle of January, I met this really amazing Polish guy. I had a relationship with the Polish guy for about 5 months. He was, in some ways, one of the men that has been the most amazing blessing in my life, the Polish guy. We had to break up because of an external situation, but I really did care about this Polish guy. About a week after I broke up with the Polish guy, I was really like a fucking mess because I just, for the first time maybe in years and years and years, really felt really cared about by somebody, and then I just lost it. And I really wanted things to work out with him, and they didn't. So what happened was, sorry, this is kind of confusing. So I met Ethan in January. We weren't able to get in touch. Then I was with a Polish guy, and then about 5 months later we broke up, me and the Polish guy. A week after we broke up, Ethan found me on Facebook and he added me as a friend, and we started talking. And we both remembered each other from being on first dates, and we were interested and curious to see what would happen, between us. I really shouldn't have gotten involved in that relationship because I was just, what the fuck was I thinking? I was just out of another relationship. But I was really hurt, and I was kind of rebounding, And I convinced myself I wasn't rebounding because I had met Ethan before, and I was like, oh, I definitely like this guy, we have connection, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, maybe, I broke up with the guy that I actually care about, to have this other relationship. So Ethan and I got talking on Facebook, and he came down to visit me. And at the time, I was a total mess. I was acting like a fucking weirdo because I was still really hurt over my last breakup. And basically, Ethan stayed with me, but we didn't sleep together or anything because I wasn't ready for any kind of physical stuff. And so we were dating and kissing a little bit, but nothing more than that. And then what happened was we continued to kind of see each other. I went up to visit him, and then as we were kind of seeing each other, I had a really bad feeling about it, that he was seeing other women, and it was really strange. I didn't really there was something just off, and as well as that, I was still hurting over my last breakup, and I was acting really odd, because I really didn't want to be alone. I wasn't able for it or something, and it wasn't a good place to be in. It wasn't a good time, and I was overeating a fuckload as well. I was going to Slimming World at the time, and I was just, it was just a mess. My group leader had to talk to me because she was like, you just seem really upset. And I was, Guys are not the solution to your problems, and food is not the solution to your problems, and both things make things worse. So anyway, myself and Ethan were seeing each other, and as the episodes started coming out, okay, he started to get way more attention from girls. If you went on Twitter or you were on the internet, there was all these articles about oh, the hunky barman, blah blah blah, the Canadian guy, da 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 da. And it was really difficult for me because I could feel that he was oh yeah, I am this hunk, la la la, And it was really annoying. And like, the thing is, he had come on to me so strong in the beginning, and then I didn't really know where we stood because he started to become evasive and started to act like a jerk, and I just had this like really bad feeling, even before any of these tweets, that like he was just like, I don't know, like seeing other girls. And I didn't pay attention to it, you know, and I didn't pay attention to it because I wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to be in a relationship. So I wasn't paying attention to warning signs, you know. And so what happened was, our episode aired, or the episode that I was in aired, and it looked like we had just met, you know, but actually we had met in January. And then the next day, after the episode aired, this is in June, we both had to go up to the Late Late Show. And I was like kind of calling Ethan, and I was like, oh, what are we going to say? What are we going to tell them? Like, because we were kind of seeing each other. We were seeing each other, but, you know, he wasn't being very like clear about like, oh yeah, you're my girlfriend, or yeah, we're definitely seeing each other. Whereas he kind of had been before. And I was like, oh, maybe I acted like such a freak because I'm so hurt from my last relationship. Maybe I pushed him away. So I was blaming myself, but I shouldn't have. So there we are, like on live TV. I'm really fucking nervous, and I'm not nervous because I'm on live TV. I'm nervous because of the person that I'm supposed to be seeing is sitting on the opposite end of a couch, acting really weird and distant with me, and like being really evasive about the status of our relationship. Okay, it really hurts. You know, like you really want to be with somebody who is proud to be with you and is like, yeah, that's my woman, that's my girlfriend, that's my girl. And he wasn't acting like that, and it was really upsetting, and I was like really confused. And I couldn't speak properly. It was horrible. It was like one of the worst moments of my life. I was on live TV, and I was like, oh my God, I can't express myself because I'm so nervous around this guy. And that's not even a good sign, you know. I just felt really uncomfortable around him. Yeah, so what happened? So, okay, long story short, he was seeing lots of other girls at the same time as me. It took a while to listen to my intuition. I didn't have like any evidence to go on, really. I had clues, but I didn't have any evidence. He said one or two things, which I called him up on, and then he didn't change, so I had to like end the relationship, or whatever it was that was going on between us. I was pretty fucking pissed, I have to be honest. I had given him a lot of time and mental energy, and I suppose I cared too much because I didn't want to be alone, and I didn't want to have to suffer being alone after my first relationship had broken up. And I don't know, I was just like, I was a bit of a mess, and I was pretty angry. What happened then was, about 2 months later, when I didn't really care about anything to do with Ethan, I actually had already like started seeing a Spanish guy. Then I didn't really care about what was going on between, like I didn't care about Ethan, I just had forgotten, you know. I got an email from this girl. She sent me an email request on Facebook, and when I accepted, she sent me loads of screenshots. And in the screenshots, they were from Ethan's Facebook account. Sorry, dude. But it basically showed that he had been seeing like 6 or 7 other girls at the same time as me. The craziest fucking thing was, I kind of knew this because my intuition was like screaming at me, he's seeing other girls, blah blah blah, and I didn't pay attention. And the craziest fucking thing was, he was seeing another girl in Cork at the same time as me, and I'm from Cork, and I think he was seeing her before me, and they might have been like more serious even than me and him, or whatever, I don't even know. But like it was just horrible. Like I was like, oh yeah, I was just like one of many. So this guy didn't really care. You know, and there's like obviously like there's reasons why people do that they have to see loads of people. Like it boosts your ego, it makes you feel better. I know, because I've kind of like done not the same, but like, you know, when I was younger I did like, you know, like stuff like that. And I suppose even in one way, running from one guy to the next, like that's not been good, you know. So I guess, you know, it's just not cool. But I was pissed off about it. I was really pissed off about it. Yeah, but you know, this is one thing I've learned, okay? Like my intuition was telling me he was seeing other people. For the first time in my life, I just followed that more than having any solid evidence, and then it turned out to be true. So that's what happened. I don't really know what's happened with him since. We're not really in contact. We're not friends. The thing is, like on the show, he gives really good like pieces of wisdom and life advice, because Ethan does have like loads of life. I don't know him very well, but I know from what I know, he has loads of life experience, and he is well traveled, and he is a spiritual person. But the thing is, and this is what I've learned, another thing I've learned, is that someone can be like a really good person and you know, like have a lot of things correct and have, you know, a lot of good values and a kind of a good compass morally and a good spiritual center, but then have like lots of other problems at the same time. And I think for me, what I experienced was like the dark side of this guy who, you know, on TV is showing you his real self, but is like also, that's not the full picture. Like I didn't get treated well by this person. And what I've learned is to kind of pay attention to the fact that just because, you know, you see good things about people, it doesn't mean that they're like going to necessarily treat you well, and you have to watch out for that. Another thing I've learned is very important. Like I had a crazy fucking year last year. I had like two relationships, and then that kind of thing with Ethan in between. I had a Polish boyfriend who was so lovely to me and caring. Didn't have so much in common, but he taught me to respect and value myself, and that I did deserve to be treated well in a relationship, and I'm thankful to him for that. And then I was with Ethan, who briefly, you know, who taught me to, in a weird way, that I have to stand up for myself. I have to speak my mind, and I can't just and not to care so much about like, you know, offending a guy or stepping on his toes, and to trust my intuition. Like that whole thing taught me to trust my intuition massively. And after Ethan, I was with a Spanish guy, very, very attractive, very sexy, older than me, artist, art teacher. We have so much in common, but it didn't work. It just broke up recently. Spanish guy, really hot, lovely, who also, we had so much in common and is a good friend, but like didn't treat me well at all as a like girlfriend or whatever. So, because we weren't officially together, but we were together, but we weren't. It was just really fucking confusing. So anyway, that whole year, this gone by, 2016, has taught me really important things. And I think the thing that I'm trying to do now, and this is like, I feel really happy and fulfilled, and it hasn't been because I found the right guy. It's because from all these guys that I have met that have taught me things, good and bad, I have learned that really the only person that is going to stay constant in my life is me. Like all these guys have drifted in and out of my life, and I know I was always looking for some kind of stability from them. I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have stability. I did not have love at home. My parents had a lot of problems, and there was a lot of abuse at home, and I always searched for like love from outside because I didn't get it when I was growing up. And it has been a really long journey to get to this point where I am okay about being alone, and I'm okay about not searching from it from outside myself, and I'm learning to fulfill myself. And I know that it's painful. It's painful when you start looking, you know, everywhere outside of yourself for love, like Plenty of Fish, Tinder, like First Dates Ireland, you know, like I've done it all. I really have. You have no idea how many dates I've gone on. You have no idea how much energy I've put into trying to get other people to love me. And in the end, like I've learned so much. I have had to resolve so many of my own issues. So I know when people do other hurtful things that they're just acting out of hurt. So when Ethan hurt me, or anyone else that I've been with in the past has hurt me, I know that it's their own painful issues that are causing that, you know. But I've had to resolve so much stuff, and I'm really thankful to be in a place right now where I'm learning to really fulfill myself. It's so cliche, but it's like you have to go through the pain of these relationships sometimes to learn the lessons so that you can love yourself fully and know that your love is enough for yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes the only way out is through. Like the only way out of like the horrible circumstance to go through it. And sometimes when you're in these really shitty relationships, or the relationships that aren't working or that are hurting you, you have to go through them to get the lesson out of it, to learn, to grow. And I'm thankful for my not perfect experiences, and I'm thankful for being alone now, and I have time to heal, and I cried and meditate and do lots of other girly hippie stuff. Yeah. But basically, I, for the first time in my life, am starting to feel fulfilled on my own. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what happened. Ethan was a part of my journey. Thanks, Ethan. Bye-bye.